So
So
you talk on that. Let's just delve into it, right? So ally is I think we say ally, and I immediately think like global, right? Ally is just like this global term, right? That is applicable across the globe in regards to the fact we think about things like United Nations, and you think about other countries being allies with other countries. What does it mean to be an ally to another
what I
person?
really want to say about allies is that they come in so many different ways that it's really hard to define what like an ally is. It's more important to define what type of ally do you want to be, or what type of ally do you need in this moment, and then creating that network of people that can kind of move between those positions. And
Okay.
here's why I say that. Because a lot of times we hear the word ally and we think of that person who is literally marching arm in arm with us in the Pride Parade, like
Right.
fist raised and like, I'm a proud parent, or like, hands off my gay friends, like
Right.
we about the people who are on the front pages of the newspapers or who are carrying the bullhorns, and we think that's what an ally is.
That is what an ally is, but it's not
That is
always,
what an
right?
ally can be. It's
Yes.
not what an ally has to be. And the reason I say this is because there are people in my life who are my strongest allies, who you will never see on the front page of a newspaper, who will never be screaming into a bullhorn, because their role is a little bit different. So you can be that ally, but also an ally is someone who is going to literally and figuratively clean your wounds.
Right.
When we are torn apart by vicious words in the store parking lot, or when we're walking down the street and someone screams out of their car derogatory terms at us, it hurts us. When we're walking home from a movie, or when we are hanging out in a park and we are beaten to within inches of our lives, it hurts us physically.
Right.
We need allies who in that moment can say, hey, ally friend, you go do that stuff on the front page and you scream and you lead the charge and you walk. My ally role is going to be here and tend to these wounds, because I'm a caregiver. I'm the Florence Nightingale of the gays. Like, we're going to be here to support you. That person who can help us heal our wounds is so important, because we can't do it ourselves. I mean, like, girl, I'm not putting your business out there, but we know there's been times where you've been laid up and not able to move because you have had this or that happen. And who did you need? Somebody who could reach up into the cabinet, or someone who could make your food, because you weren't able to do that. When we are in our metaphorical body casts and we can't make our own food and we can't like climb up to the cabinets, we need people who will do that for us for that period of time. We also
go ahead.
No, please.
I was just going to say, I think too, that it's also, it's the person that is also supportive of you and your goals too. That it's, it's the person that is, the cheerleader in your corner, right? The one that's always buying the product you're trying to sell, whatever it is that you're doing, because they believe in you as a human. And that you can be this and this and this and this. So I think too, like the ally there is super important, and also the ally is the one that will tell you the things that maybe other people won't tell you. You need people in your corner that are going to have your back in a variety of ways, just as much as you need the people that are charging the front lines. You need the people that are also lining up everything else behind it. So I think that an ally is just this beautiful spectrum of things.
It is. The rainbow of what it looks like to be an ally is just as broad and diverse as what it is to be someone who's queer. And I will say too, not to like take up too much time, but I always have to give a shout out to my mom. She was and is and always will be my first ally, and my biggest ally.
Yep.
She's also the type of ally. We talked about the caregiver, we talked about the cheerleader, we talked about like the frontliner. she's also the type of ally that helped me learn how to better communicate what I'm feeling and who I am, because my mom was raised that being gay was wrong, that it's not what the Bible taught. And when the first of two of her children, she has four, and two of us are under the rainbow.
Right.
I was the first to come out, and we would sit down every single Saturday, and she would say, look, I don't agree with this, this, or this. And I'd say, yeah. And I don't agree with this, this, or this. And she'd say, well, help me understand 1, 2, or 3. Or what is this whole XYZ thing? You know, or like, I don't understand, because when you were growing up, you said this and now you're saying this. I don't get it. And so my mom was the type of ally who wanted to learn. And my mom was the ally that, through learning and trusting me to share, taught me how to communicate with people who feel differently than I do, who know things different than what I know. And so I always will give a big shout out to my mom, because she has turned into not that woman that you will see screaming on the news and the front pages of the newspaper. She is the one who will whisper in your ear when you need it. And she's just incredible. So I always give her a shout out. But that kind of wraps this up into what is an ally? Is an ally who helps us be the best person that we can be in that moment. And I will say, if you figure out like how to be an ally, ask us, what do you need right now? And we might know, because like, I know right now there are allies in my life. Like, I need some allies who can do some things on Google Forms, because I am tired of making forms for all these events. And so an ally would be someone who would help me with that. An ally is someone, you know, who's like, hey, here's some money to fund this venture. An ally is also like, hey, you know what? I just want to hang out with you and like gossip. Or, you know, like an ally is someone who says, I see this piece of legislation. I'm going to make sure that my vote matters, that you can still adopt a child, because I know you want to do that. And ally comes in all forms. It's not always vocal, it's not always visible, but it's always valuable to us.
Yes, and I think that's the big takeaway there. And I think too that we have perhaps I would say a misconception that all of these individuals in our life that fall under allies, that the primary umbrella of them are our immediate family. When you have this one person in your life that you know that you can go to, whether it's mom, dad, auntie, whatever. When it is those individuals in your life, that's amazing. But fact of the matter is, it's not always. So, you know, go find your ally. Like, if you don't, what'd you say in a previous chat? You said, was it that you, if they're already here, that they love you. If they're already here, they got you. And if they're not,
the right people are already here, and the wrong people are already gone.
Right. So go find you the right people that need to be here. That's what you got to do. And you have to be intentional with that. You can't just sit back and wait for amazing people to come to you. Right. I wish that was the case. I wish that we could just sit here and be like, well, I'm going to read my book and hope somebody comes to talk to me. But that's not really how that works. We have to reach out and seek those things that we need, or put ourselves in situations where we find them. And that can be a very scary thing to do. So, you know, you don't have to have 50. Just one will do. You know, just 1, 2, 3. Quality, not quantity.
There's a term in LGBTQ community and history called chosen family. And that is exactly the premise of that. Is we don't choose the family we're born into, but we can choose the family that we die out of. And it is so important to pick those people. You may not have a biological mom like I have who supports me, but you can have a drag mom or a den mother or a house mom, you know, who's going to do all that for you. Or you can just have someone who feels like the sister you've never had, or the sibling you've always wanted, or the great grandma, you know, who does all this crazy stuff to teach you. I learned more things from, you know, like my chosen family around the country, and a lot of people learn from their blood family.
Right.
But it's so important to work and invest in that. Like we said to like young Jay in an earlier discussion, you've got time. You've got time. So take the time, create your family, forge your family, create your community, and find that place where you belong. And more importantly, find who belongs in your place.